Okay, today we have what in theory should be a really simple job, and that is rewiring this trailer. It has a 12-pin NATO plug on it. We're going to add an additional 7-pin flat because I have two Land Rovers that have 12-pin NATO, but this needs to go on a ride with a Jeep, a modern Jeep that only has a 7-pin flat. So we're going to put both on there for redundancy. There's a terminal block up the back. We're going to rewire it from there. And because I have a dislike for wiring trailer plugs in situ, I'm going to wire the trailer plug to the cable first, then thread it through so we know we have the right length, and then we'll terminate it underneath. We stopped at Supercheap Auto. They had some of this stuff. It seems to be all about the same price. I couldn't find a 5-meter roll, so 10 meters it is. Let's get this open and we'll get things started. Now please excuse the air conditioner in the background. It's Aussie summer. In my box of bits that this came out of, there was a rubber cable gland that I thought was meant to fit in here, but it was quite a bit too small. So I don't think it's actually meant to go in there, although this is a tapered hole. I'll grab it and have a look anyway. So this is the gland. I don't actually think this belongs to that. There is a bolt down strain relief in here, of which there are 2 screws for as well. Okay, let's get our wire strippers and get started on this. Now, in an ideal world, I'd put bootlace connectors on everything, but I don't have bootlace connectors for everything. Now, this stuff can be a bit difficult. This is some thin wire with a lot of insulation, so I kind of feel like I got a bit ripped there. But we are only going to be running LED lights on this, so I think that's less of a problem than it used to be. We're just going to pull all the cores one way and the insulation the other once we've trimmed it a bit, and it should strip back like that. Then what we can do is we can fold over like this, and we can snip around the fold, and it should come off nicely. There we go. Now we can just clean up a little bit. Now off memory, I'm pretty sure green is ground, that's left and right indicator, and that's stop. I think off memory, but I'll look it up every time anyway. Okay, glad I checked because my memory was lying to me. So yellow is left-hand turn, green is right-hand turn, white is the earth, red is the stop, and that's for number plate and clearance and side markers. Okay, let's wire these in. When I wire a trailer plug, I like to start with the earth wire because that's usually the shortest one in the middle here. We take our flat blade screwdriver, which spawn of the devil. I don't like flat blade screws. We're going to start with our earth wire, and luckily on this plug they are marked. Now, the reason we want to do that is, see here, we're not past our strain relief. So if we're to do this, we then have a problem. So we're going to short things up a little bit. Alright, this looks better. A little bit shorter now. And we can go past our strain relief. That's an important distinction to make. We're going to do up our flat blade screw. That's our earth wire. Alright, so here's our plug wired. Now, yes, you up the back there, I can hear you. Yes, the second somebody pulls on this, it's going to pull the earth wire out first. Let's discuss that. So firstly, I like a clean, easy to diagnose plug. That means if I disassemble in the field, I can see immediately what's going on. Secondly, if the earth wire pulls out, I know immediately I've got a missing wire. If one of these guys pulls out, I may not notice unless I'm on the road, and that could get me in trouble or worse. It goes together much more easily when it's done neatly, and I've got good access to the strain relief. I don't have a whole jumble of extra cable in here. We're going to do the strain relief up nice and firm, so that if you do yank on the cable, it doesn't come out. And so yes, I like the ability to disassemble and assess in the field. And yes, the astute among you will have noticed I forgot to put this on the cable. I'm good for that, but we're going to trim this roughly to length, and then I'm going to thread this back over the end because I can. Right, strain relief done. It's on nice and firm. Put a cover on. Take our gland out, and we'll go out and install this. Looks like I'm going to have some hired help to come and look at the trailer with me. My trusty Magpie Lark's back. So this trailer, normally it would have a bar and a canvas over the top. Got a rooftop tent bolted to it for the moment. Later on it's going to get lifted up a bit so that we can put that canvas back on. Anyway, let's roll ourselves out some cable. Just to upset everybody, I'm going to use a blade to cut it. Before we forget, cable gland. Now, our standard plug hangs out here with about that much length. So that, I'm going to guess, is need to go about that way for length. Now, this goes through a hole in the chassis under there. This won't fit through that hole, and I don't want to drill another one. So we'll use some zip ties, which ironically I forgot to buy. I should have some somewhere though. Alright, I did have a look under here. Oh, and there's the head spin that comes with the multiple sclerosis. Okay, I'm pretty sure I can shove through this chassis rail here, and that will keep it under control for most of the trip. Yep, it's coming out the other side. Okay, welcome to the underside of the trailer. So, we're up the rear now. Our trailer plug wire is coming out here. Factory one comes in here to this terminal block. This is definitely going to need some contact cleaner in here. It is quite rusted. I may have another one of these terminal blocks. I might, if I can undo that screw, simply remove the whole terminal block and replace. But it should be fairly easy to put a second set of wires in here. And we've got loads of slack. Okay, so I made a few assumptions here. This is clearly a ground post. And so the red wire is not the stop lights. So we've hooked ground, which is the white wire. Green and yellow, I'm pretty sure are going to be left and right, being on either end of this. Now the other option, the only other possibility we've got here is the tactical light we have that's off this white flap. That's the only unusual thing. Once we get ground right, pretty much something will light up one way or another. I reckon this orange is going to be stop lights. And I suspect the last process of elimination is probably going to be this wire here, which I reckon will be brown. Blue is usually service brakes and stuff like that, but I don't know why it's still here. Anyway, we'll try these combinations out. I'll get a power supply and a couple of clip leads, and we'll see what works. Okay, we have here a little portable battery supply I made up for my apprentice, and it's got a 12 volt lead acid in it. Handy. It's got a few other things as well, but we should be able to access the battery terminals from here. Take our voltmeter out. I made this for easy use in the field because it may need to do several things. There's our positive and negative, and we'll hook up to the trailer plug. Okay, we take ground to our center pin. What we are going to do here is take the back of the plug off so that we can read the pin out on it, make sure things are correct. So let's go, that's right hand signal I believe. Let's have a look. Okay, so that is stop lights, so we need to swap them around. So we know whatever green on is stop lights. Let's make note of that. Okay, let's try left hand turn here. See what we get up the other end. This is the tedious part of all this. Okay, so that is left hand turn. So left hand turn is correct. Now we just need stop and number plate. Okay, thanks to the handy S Pen that come with this phone, I know all the different colors now. I've been through them all, and I've got a couple backwards, but they all work importantly. So let's swap some stuff around. Alright, so here's our color combination. I think this is right. So this is our new wire coming in. This is our off to our lights, and this is the NATO plug. Let's see what happens. Okay, so this is where I need an extra pair of hands, so maybe you guys can help me out here. I'm going to go up the front and switch through contacts, and you guys can let me know which lights work. Right hand turn, left hand turn, tail lights, brake lights. Alright, thanks for helping me out there guys. We got it working. We only had to rewire it once. That's probably a first with a trailer wiring that I've done. Okay, we'll patch all this up and we'll find a way to tuck this in here safely. Okay, we've got this tucked in around here for now. When we're driving, that will be fully up. That should be fine. At some point I might get a magnet for it, build it into the head, and we can just stick it onto the side of the trailer. But now we have 12 pin NATO and a 7 pin flat. Should be good.